dum 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 dum, rock me like a hurricane. Yeah. Y'all crazies, what is good, man? Welcome back to the lab. Lee here. Y'all see that title too as well. We're talking about 8 new Mandela effects to blow your mind, make you question this reality that we all reside in. Yes, 8 new Mandela effects to get it going for this wonderful hurricane wake we got moving, as you see right there. With that said, please remember that some of these Mandela effects might not be new to you, but they will be new to somebody else, so please respect that. And also remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave me those comments down below so we can talk about these, the hurricane, and others that you see around the world. So let's get this moving. Let's go to the Pentagon for number 8. It's going to be the Pentagon. Yes, 9/11 was one of those historical days that we will always remember. So much bad happened that day, but we are talking about the Pentagon itself. And how do you remember that story, the Pentagon? Do you remember people dying in the Pentagon? Well, if you are saying no, I don't remember people dying in the Pentagon. Yes, I remember people dying on a plane, but nobody died in the Pentagon because it was getting remodeled, right? Well, if I told you you were wrong, you're wrong, because now in this reality, apparently, people died in the Pentagon. Yes, you heard me right. People died in the Pentagon. As you see right there, you got 64 people that were on the plane and 125 people inside the Pentagon itself passed away. Now, this would have been all over the news about how many people passed away, but it wasn't. You know, I remember watching this on the news. It was just on the news, and nobody got hurt in the Pentagon because it was under renovation. It blows my mind. It boggles me still to this day now since I saw this, and thank you to all time for this one. It blows me away. But how do you remember that day at the Pentagon? Do you remember 125 people passing away inside the Pentagon? Or do you remember it like I remember it, and many of us remember it, seeing it, watching it, hearing it, that the Pentagon was under construction, that area was under remodel, and nobody got hurt? Like a little bit of pink elephants, yes, and we're going to talk about Dumbo for this one. Yes, Dumbo itself, and this one actually comes from Super himself, man, throwing this out me. It shocked my mind when I saw this, and I want you to take a look at Dumbo. Take a look at Dumbo real quick. Now, does it look right to you? Do you remember the yellow hat and the little kind of the bow tie, the garment, lapel, if you want to call it, being that red and yellow? Do you remember that? Well, if you said yes, you're from this reality. Yep, you heard me from right there. You're from this reality. Apparently that is how Dumbo has always looked and always appeared. But in Super's reality, my reality too as well, and many others that I've looked up said that those were never the colors of his hat and his little lapel that he had. It was actually a blue hat and a blue lapel, a blue and white little lapel. And there's a little bit of evidence, residue about the little blue lapel, as you see the picture up right there. I don't know about this one at all, but it does look so right to me. Another reason why that I do believe that it was blue is because when he had the feather and he put it in the hat, it made the feather more vibrant, if that makes any sense to you. But how do you remember Dumbo and his appearance? Do you always remember the yellow and red garment? Or do you remember it like most of us remember it, with the blue hat and just like the blue garment with the little blue knots? Again, we are talking about this wonderful, fabulous drink, Hypnotic. Yes. Also comes from actually Walt and All Time too as well, and it blows my mind too because Hypnotic in my mind always sparkled. I know you hear me say that. Yes, it was a sparkle in the core. It just made everything pop and gop and rock. And you're like, yeah, man, it was sparkling all the time. When you drink it, you sparkle. It even made your Incredible Hulk sparkle. But apparently, Hypnotic never had sparkles or glitter in it. It never did at all. And as you've seen this right here come up around us, this is the commercial from Hypnotic. And as they're pouring Hypnotic into the glasses, there is no sparkling, shimmering, glitterish kind of vibrant out of that at all. I always remember it being sparkly. I always remember it having that glitter, that shimmer shine to it. That's what made it so pop. Even in the clubs, it even popped that out too as well. But how do you remember? Do you always remember Hypnotic never sparkling? Or are you like me and many others remembering Hypnotic being a sparkly, glittery, sprinkly liqueur?
Come on, get the pesky critters won't stop. Take that. There's something wrong.
Oh, hi ho, we're talking about the Snow White and Seven Dwarves once again. Yes, yes, yes. The Mandela Effect for this one is actually going to be the spelling of dwarves. Yes, as I throw this up on here and you get a little quiz for you. Is it number 1 or is it number 2? Dun, 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 dun. Well, if you are picking number 1, guess what? You are wrong in this reality. Yes, yes, you heard me right. Dwarves was never spelt with the V. It's not spelt that way. Never has been spelt that way in this reality. Number 2 is actually the correct spelling of dwarves in this reality. Yes, you see that right with the F. It blows me away because I never remembered dwarves being spelt that way. Not for this movie. It always was spelt with the V. D-W-A-R-V-E-S, dwarves, not with the F. And if you think I'm losing my mind, here's some newspaper articles that actually show it the way we remember it. Yes, 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 you do see the V there, the V-E-S, you see it, dwarves, 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 and people call us crazy. Evidence right there, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs being spelt dwarves, D-W-A-R-V-E-S. That's how I remember it. But how do you remember the Seven Dwarfs being spelled? Do you always remember it being spelled the way you just saw it right there, the correct way with the V? Or do you remember it being spelled with the F as it is in this current reality we reside in? We are going to the fan votes. Yes, we did a little vote out there talking about Krogers. Yes, Krogers, the grocery store that Nice Now delivers to everybody around the world in their nice little carts and do what they do. And we were talking about how do you remember that being spelled? Well, the survey brought it up, and thank you out there for all of y'all that participated in it. And it was 62% for Krogers with the S on the end of it. And 38% said Krogers. Well, the 38% is correct. What, Lee? What are you telling me? Yes, Kroger has been spelled Kroger, I guess, the whole entire time, the way in this reality has been. But if you're asking me, man, why did you do that vote? Because just not like you, just like me and many others, we remember Kroger being spelled Krogers with an S. I went all over the internet trying to find pictures of Krogers with an S, and I couldn't find it. All I could see is regular Krogers. I remember Kroger being Krogers with an S, just not Kroger. But for the ones who didn't participate in the poll, let me know what you think about this one. Do you remember Kroger being just Kroger the way it is now in this reality? Or do you remember it being Krogers with the S in your reality?
Whose heart stopped to beat? Cheers for Gary, who's crossing the street.
One of those great classic still-made cars in they're just wonderful. They're wonderful vehicles. My stepdad owned one when I was a kid. The thing was just indestructible. And I'm talking about Volvo. Yes, Volvo and their wonderful logo. As I throw this up for you for a nice, wonderful quiz once again, which one is correct to you in your reality? Now, if you are saying number 2, you are correct. Yes, you are right, because it is actually currently right there now. That symbol you see right there, Volvo with the male symbol. It is so weird to me and odd because I, myself, and many others in this reality that we live in, remember the Volvo logo looking like number 1, being just Volvo and a circle around it. That's how I remember Volvo. Like I said, my stepdad had a Volvo. That thing was tremendous. It was awesome. It was just a freaking tank on wheels. But it blows my mind because as I throw you these little things up here for you, as you see the Volvo logos, it's never had just the circle around it. It's always had that male symbol, except with now that 2001 they did change their label, the logo again. They changed it, as you see, to this blackness with the Volvo kind of going through. They even kind of took away the male symbol on this now, and it just blows my mind. But how do you remember the Volvo symbol or logo? Do you always remember it being the way you see it right here with not looking like the male sign, just with the Volvo and the silver around it? Or do you remember it the way it is now? Well, was or now, with the male symbol around it.
You shall not pass!
You shall not pass! Yes, we are talking about the Lord of the Rings, and we're talking about that infamous line when he is hanging on for his life. They're running and trying to save him. He's holding there. He's pulling himself up. He says, looks at him, he says, "Run, you fools!" Oh. But apparently, in this reality, he never says, "Run, you fools."
Fly, you fools!
Fly, you fools. Fly, you fools. Did the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz take his body over as he's holding on there, and he thinks that she's seeing, or he's seeing them damn monkeys, and she's saying, "Fly, my fools, fly." It blows my mind, because that scene was never "Fly, you fools." It was "Run, you fools. Run, you fools." And as you're seeing Google go up right here for you, I searched it, I looked, you see it all over the place. You see both "Fly, you fools," and "Run, you fools." But it's so many resident evidence of "Run, you fools" t-shirts, coffee mugs, memes of "Run, you fools," even a hurricane meme of a "Run, you fool," and it blows my mind away. But how do you remember this? Has it always been "Fly, you fools"? Just freaking fly, you fools? Or do you remember it like I remember it, and many of us nerds in this world remember it being "Run, you fools"?
I said, I want the knife.
Please. Yes, that is right. We are talking about The Golden Child. Yes, yes, that wonderful 80s movie, Golden Child. It was just phenomenal. I loved it. I just thinking about it makes me want to watch it again for myself. But this Mandela Effect, if it is a Mandela Effect, that's a question of it too. To me, it's a Mandela Effect. To many of it is a Mandela Effect. But this Mandela Effect has to do with the Golden Child itself. Yes, the child in the movie itself. How do you remember that child? Or I should rephrase this question actually. What sex was the child? Now, if you're like many of us, millions of us in this world, in this reality that have watched this movie many of times in our lives, it's going through my head right now. You remember that child being a boy, right? Right? The whole movie, it was a boy. The Golden Child, it was a boy. It was a boy. It was a boy. It's a boy. Even in the thing, it says it was a boy. But the Mandela Effect in this one happens to be the fact that that child was not a boy. That child was actually a girl. Yes, that is correct. The Golden Child was a girl in this movie. What, Lee? You blow my mind. I'm not. It blew my mind too as well. Here's a picture actually of the child in the movie, and exactly the child at the age as she is now with Eddie Murphy. That is correct. The child was a woman, a girl the whole time. Well, in my reality, I remember the Golden Child being a Golden Child boy. It was a boy who was the Golden Child. They had to save him from that evil Uncle Noomspa. And that is exactly how I remember. And millions of us remember it. Maybe we got it wrong. Maybe we're right. Maybe we're not in the reality we all remember it was. But how do you remember the Golden Child? Do you remember that child always being a boy and depicted as a boy, even growing up as you watched this movie the whole time? Or, and you were from this reality and always knew that the Golden Child itself was a girl? 8 new more Mandela Effects that'll blow your mind and make you question your reality that we all reside in and live in. Man, if you did like this at any time, please remember to hit those thumbs up, hit that subscription button. Let's mess with this algorithm. Let's get to 2 G's, as well as, man, y'all leave me your comments about this one, and especially the Golden Child one, because it blew my mind still as I'm doing this. so we can talk about it. Other than that, thank you so much for the love and support. Thank you everybody out there for what y'all do. And thank you for the good vibes. And remember, I love you, and to keep your mind open, because of those eyes will see everything in front of them. Y'all stay crazy.
Hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.